Hilarious Club.
The podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to Hilarious Club, the podcast. We are shooting our fourth episode. As you can see, I'm sitting with two smart
Guys. Yes,
No.
we are men.
That is true.
two smart, athletic black guys. That's my type, by the way. But I don't know how to start this conversation with the two black guys. This is a little bit too much for me.
Are you serious? I heard you're like a wild animal. Pheromones are like Okay.
Yeah. But I'm very excited to get this out, and we actually asked him what kind of topics he likes to talk about. He gave me women, sports, music, and
Music, yeah.
music.
And,
I don't know how to talk about any of those.
Hey, I think we should just talk about bitches because I don't know anything. I don't know.
I was
anything.
trying to be political, so that's why I didn't put that on paper. But
Well, hopefully no one hears me say that, but no, I don't know anything about rappers or music or sports. So let's just start with the bitches,
Yeah.
if we can.
So that's
But
somebody who is about to get married next week.
I'm already married, actually.
Yeah,
I just
okay.
haven't had the ceremony, but yeah. I mean, this is the life before marriage. We can talk about.
Yeah.
We're gonna open up,
Okay. Right.
I can tell you what it's like post-marriage.
Oh
We
yeah.
can have that conversation.
Well, you were married before?
I was.
Really?
Yeah, man. And
Whoa, what happened?
life happened.
Yeah,
man.
I feel it. Do you still have feelings?
Nah, that's gone. Luckily,
gone?
luckily, I'm not one of those guys that get stuck in the past. So yeah, that happened a year or two ago, and we're here now.
Okay.
And,
Was it? Are you still open to the prospect of marriage, or you're like, I did it once, I'm not into it?
The traditional one, how people see it today, is I probably won't do that.
Okay.
But a long-term relationship, yeah,
Okay.
is healthy for sure. But signing papers and all that, I'm not sure how much sense that makes.
Yeah. Well, because I'm married, I disagree.
Right.
But I'm open to your ideas. No. How do you feel about open marriages? Have you ever met someone who's into that?
Yeah, I've met people. So I grew up in Maryland, and being on college teams and so on, I have a lot of guys that have different walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I met a couple of guys that have open relationships, open marriages. I'm not sure how much that would work for me because I need my women in line. So.
We need a women in line. He says on hilarious podcast. Right. All right. So what do you mean by that? Like in line? Do you find because the thing is, what's so interesting when you say that? Because I'm not gonna be so stereotypical. When you say there's something that is, let's be honest, when you say that, very attractive to some women.
Okay.
Right? I mean, let's be honest. But there's some women who will be infuriated.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, what do you mean? And then other ones were like, oh, he likes to take charge, right? So are you strategic when you say that, or is it like that's just
No, half of it is a joke.
Okay, all right.
Half is a dream.
Joke. Half is a joke, half is a dream. Yeah. So that's how I look at it, and it's more just to start a conversation to see where somebody else's head is at.
Right.
But I'm not that serious about it, unless you're serious, then I'm serious. But yeah, I'm not open to both sides of the coin for sure.
Yeah, I just feel that since I came to Shanghai, there are just so many different versions of dating and relationships. Because every time I host, when you are asking people, you see them together sitting here, you guys a couple, no, and one is hesitant to give an answer, the other is hesitant about the definition of dating and stuff. Okay, Shanghai's wild, to be honest.
Yeah.
Prior to Shanghai, I was living in Malaysia, which is traditional, family-oriented. Maybe also because I don't know the people that I hang out with. But then I moved to Shanghai. It's different thing.
Yeah.
It's completely different thing.
I always saw that when you guys do that on stage and like put couples on the spot. What if they want to be, well, one of the two want to be.
Yeah, that's where the jokes come from. So when you ask a question, you want something that's abnormal and ridiculous, and then it's fun. I don't give a shit whether you're dating or not. I'm not interested in your life at all. I just need somebody to give me feedback, and I can fish out some material and be funny, to be honest. And then
You might be messing up their night because a guy might be like.
That's even better because that's the kind of host I am. I want to spice things up,
Yeah.
So if it's normal, it's not exciting,
Leading the cock blocker.
Right. That's all I'm hearing right now.
I don't give a shit about you. You came to my show, like you are in my hands, you get to play along, So
Gotta play your game.
and also normally people they like I even make fun of them, and sometimes I even like a guy and girl, and I'm like, okay, I like your guy. Tonight you're doomed. And the girl is a good sport.
Yeah.
Afterwards, the girl's like, I like you so much,
right.
and that's the most exciting part.
I
And
agree.
they all know that off stage, like I'm a completely different person.
Yeah,
and
true,
then
true.
they just like. That's the kind of woman bitches I like the most. Seriously,
Yeah.
they come
It's a
to
playful energy. It's a playful energy. And by the way, when I say let's talk about bitches, I don't mean women. I mean all people.
There we go.
Yeah.
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 Because men can be bitches too.
Yeah, that's right.
very petty.
Yeah.
I found that out in my recent years.
Oh yeah. I feel like there's some stories behind
Yeah.
What's that?
No, I always
Look,
grew up.
this segment is called "Men Can Be Bitches." Okay, we're gonna cut out some clips. Okay, now please share stories. Come on.
No, I think long story short, you grow up in, at least for me, you grew up in sports. You grew up, I have sisters, brothers, and they're a typical man's man and so on. So I kind of grew up around guys that do things the right way, a traditional way. And then fast forward, playing basketball since middle school, high school. You have this kind of team thought process. And then so kind of guys stick together, that kind of thing.
Right.
Camaraderie. And fast forward, after you graduate, you start working, you start dealing with people outside of team atmosphere, like just regular people you meet every day. And then you realize, dog, he acts like a bitch. like a girl. Why are you acting like that? And then you just gotta, over time you realize, let people be them. I can't be so judgmental. And if he wants to cry over his girl leaving him.
Wait, all right. So do you think it's not? You think guys shouldn't cry? I'm just curious.
Traditionally, that's what we were taught.
That's true. Actually, I was.
It's not necessarily true, but
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's the exact environment I was raised in.
Yeah.
Really, to be honest, it's like a hyper masculine, some would say toxic environment where.
So these new age words.
Yeah, right. No, I'll never forget. Like when I used to do construction with my dad every summer to make some money. He's a construction worker, whatever. I would try to do that.
What you know about landscaping?
I know a lot about.
Come on, man.
Are you serious? You know? Oh my God.
Spent about 4 summers doing that.
Yeah. Well, I only spent 2 summers, and I'll tell you why. Because this is probably in your eyes is gonna sound like a bitch, but I remember I was nailing. I was trying to. I was young. My brother was great at it.
Yeah.
He's really great, and I was trying to be like them. Older brother, 5 years older, and dad, he's this huge, black guy. He's got sausage fingers, because
From all that work.
from all the work outside. He's like a real Detroiter. That's his thing.
Yeah.
And I'm we're doing drywall. We're putting up drywall because we gotta, tear down drywall. We gotta put up drywall. Then you gotta plaster it, right? To plaster up all the holes or whatever. Gotta measure all this. I was usually good at measuring. Anyway, we're nailing things, and I'm struggling, and he's like, "Why don't you nail it with your wallet and not your purse?"
That's funny.
And
That's funny.
And I'll never forget that. You know what? Fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fine, Dad. I'll just go to school." So, but so I feel like I never really got. My dad liked my brother a little bit more because he could do all the stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't like to do that so much. So.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. If it wasn't for the money, I would have been quit.
Yeah.
But it's good money, especially if you have a bunch of clients. I guess that's with anything. But the more clients you have, it's just easy flow.
And there is a camaraderie to that too.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You wake up kind of early actually. Everyone gets McDonald's because that's like easy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you go out, you work, everyone's eating the same shit. And you just talk shit actually.
Yeah,
It's actually
on the drive to each house.
That's right. That's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow. I was telling you the other day that you can't really enjoy food after work. I mean, like in the middle of work, because you're so hungry. Even though the food is good, you just gotta finish it within 20 minutes. And
like we were talking about, like the appetite is different after doing physical work. But now we're all doing office work, laptop work, all these things, and you're so exhausted, you're so tired. Mentally, you don't have a good appetite.
No.
But if I just I just gardened, and then I just did some physical work, and the food tasted so good.
That's true.
I grew up on the farm.
That's
and
right.
I relate to that because we did everything as a family unit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we water the garden. Okay, we plant, we harvest everything, and yes, so that's why it's hard for me to work with people that are not team players.
That's sort of going back to, like, you have a strong appreciation for camaraderie, all the toxic masculinity aside, right?
Me too.
But there's
As a woman.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's that's the unifying thing here, right? And I'm wondering, where do you feel that you developed that sense? You said it was sports, right?
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about, like, I think that we know that you coach basketball, but maybe you're into other sports, or maybe that's always been your focus. And
yeah, no, I grew up playing. So I grew up. I was born in Trinidad, so in the Caribbean, and so the main sport there is track and field, cricket.
Cricket.
Yeah, that's
British colony.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
We were the best cricket team in the world for a long time.
You say that like I should.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to brag on the low, for
I'm
real.
sorry.
All the it's popular at all the
Once black people start doing any sport, you just dominate.
Commonwealth countries, like Pakistan, all these countries, India. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
So the West Indies were at the top of the class for a long time. Anyway, so it started there, and so from there, to me, sports was it. And it wasn't until I moved to the States, that was like 13, 14, I got into basketball and so on.
You moved with your family?
Yeah, I mean, everybody, I got like 5 siblings, so everybody.
That's amazing.
Everybody moved at different times, depending on who went to school first, who went to college first, and so on.
Right.
So, so I was probably the last to leave. And then from there, that was that. So that's when I saw teamwork made the dream work.
Yeah, it is. It does.
And also, you were saying like a man not supposed to cry. I remember that. Can I say that your mom passed when you were 8?
When I was young. Yeah.
And
Oh, I'm
he
sorry.
barely cried.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, half of that was because I didn't know how to process it. Like, I didn't know what was
You're
going
very
on. Yeah. And I saw nobody else was crying because nobody was there. I mean, everybody else was left to school already. Everybody. I'm the youngest of the group. And so when they left, it was just me, the dogs, and so I was like, all right, well, I'll figure it out when I get to the States.
Oh my
and
God,
talk to
you're
them
about to
it.
make me cry.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
That's 30 years ago, man. It's all good.
Dude, all right, my aunt passed 2016, and when I think about it, I still cry. I don't know. I just let the emotions come and then they go, and that's kind of me. I don't like to hold it in.
Do you think it also has something to do with what you do? Because you do theater, you do dancing. All of this allow you to let your emotions out, and you need to feel your emotions. And you play basketball. You need to suck it up and do it even when you're losing it.
Or maybe that's the expression. Maybe my form of tears is playing, is sports,
Okay, right.
It might be that.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to know. I don't have a therapist. I should get one, but I do have some experiences that have been interesting. So I know that when I was younger, I was the crybaby. I would just cry, right? So that's just my natural state. Then obviously high school comes and I'm trying to be tough and I'm going to the gym and I bottle things up. But then I figure out theater and whatever, and there was a lot of catharsis and whatever, and I had this one experience when I was at the Esper studio in New York, and they teach the Lloyd Williamson technique is a movement technique, right? And the theory is that untapped emotions get trapped in the body as tension, right? Especially in the psoas. So his theory, and I had a good teacher named Ted Morin, who was a student of Lloyd Williamson. Because at that time I was like, I looked at acting like martial arts. I was like, I want to learn from the people from the group theater who came from Moscow, and they came and they had the Stanislavski technique, the Uta Hagen, they had like all the different method actors, right, that came from Moscow, the group theater. So I was like, I want to learn from Esper, who was like a student of one of the group theater people. He's an old man, he's dead now, but you know, he's a direct descendant. So I'm there, I'm learning, and we're doing this thing called the slump. We gotta like, the idea is to like move your spine, right? And then we're doing the slump, and we're doing this for like 3 weeks or whatever. Then we're doing this exercise in the dark, and we're supposed to imagine someone, and imagining someone, and I imagine my brother, and then all of a sudden, this other person comes to my mind, and after all this exercise, I just start bawling and shaking uncontrollably. It was wild. And it's not like something, it was just weird, and I felt so...
You can explain it, yeah.
I can't explain, it was like one of those things where it's like, wow, maybe there is a little bit of research about this theory about untapped emotion being trapped in the body, but that for me was the defining moment. You know, some people say, oh, I did ayahuasca, I did these like these drugs, and I saw someone, I cried, whatever, and I got released. For me, it was that movement technique in that room in New York on that day, and I just felt so much release. I was literally, it was the strangest thing. I was just bawling, crying, uncontrollably, shaking in the corner. Everyone in the class came to huddle and hug me.
That's
it was
wild.
so nice.
That's wild.
It was nice, and I don't know where it came from, but it all went away, and I just felt like...
And nobody else had that experience in the room?
Not that day.
Okay.
No. I don't know, maybe another day, but for me, that was that day, and I just felt so free.
Did they think you were acting? Like, that's a good actor.
True shit. They be like, yo, he tapped into that shit for real. Yeah.
Dude, there was one time where it happened during a performance where like my teacher Ted Warren was like, he was doing the technique while we were performing. So that was separate. We were trying to integrate them all. He was there, and then I started to do the same thing, and I had a really great performance.
They're like, this guy is getting it again. He's doing it again. He's doing it.
But I can never like. It's hard to. Anyway, this is why people train years to do it, because actual acting and living, the whole Esper theory is like living realistically in imaginary situations, right? Uta Hagen was all about like bringing up untapped memories from the past that were traumatizing and make you cry. But Esper didn't want to do all that. It was like traumatizing. So it was like, it's training you to do something else. So that's why I liked it. And it's not easy, but I did have a couple moments where I was like, wow, this is really amazing.
Did you ever get into theater, like acting, like actual?
Yeah. I mean, I studied it for undergrad.
Okay.
And then I was at this acting studio. When I went to, we were talking about, going abroad. When I went to London, that was to study at the British American Drama Academy.
Okay.
And I mean, even though I do silly, stupid sketches here in Shanghai, I am a trained actor.
There we go. All right.
So if ever gonna happen, I would, take it seriously. I do like acting a lot, actually.
We can see that, because like when you were performing in Suzhou, remember Justin? I told you about Justin. Justin, like, he had training. The way he moves, like even when
so other actors would notice it.
No, Justin, Barbadian guy, was just like looking at him doing stand-up. Like he had theater, probably acting background, the way he carries himself. Because like when I am on stage, I'm so like, I forgot about my body language. I'm just like, but he's like, he is conscious of his image, even when you're doing your stand-up.
Yeah, for sure. You got to like play to the audience. And I've always been on stage for too long, maybe. Yeah.
So have you had moments like that? You like untapped emotions and then just exploded?
Like, all the things just came out like, maybe
No.
right now.
As I started to think about it.
I started to think about, mom, no.
Never?
On the, probably last time I cried was on the airplane. I was watching
Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of.
Oh,
Come on, dog.
Are you serious?
Come on, dog.
I was right. That's amazing. You got that right. That was amazing. That was not planned. We never talked about that. That was so fucking wild.
Yeah.
It's a good film.
It's a good film. But the thing is, I saw it before. I saw it when it first came out, whenever it came out, 05 or whatever. And I was flying probably like last year, last Chinese New Year.
People, honestly,
And
people.
I seen that shit on a plane again. I was like, damn.
right. Because it calls you off guard. Because you're on a plane, just flying.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you put it on, like,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm
And
not
you're
gonna
tired.
sleep. You're tired.
And also,
then
you
the
don't
shit
know nobody.
Yeah. It's,
And also, when you're traveling, you do have a lot of emotions. Especially
Where
like
you going,
Chinese
where
New
you
Year.
coming from.
Also,
Yeah.
Chinese New Year, that was a lot. First time you travel after
Post
3
lockdown,
years.
yeah. Yep.
So
yep.
that's understandable. Like this time when I was on the plane to London, I was crying the whole time.
really?
Yes.
Like, you weren't watching anything, you were just crying in the
Yes,
seat?
I was
Really?
not watching anything. I was just crying
Wow.
all these emotions. Like, oh,
Like
this is
happy to travel. Like what was the?
it's like everything I've experienced in the past 3 years and a half, and friendships, relationships, work, everything just, and I was just sitting on the plane and just start crying.
That's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's for some reason in some social circles, and I came up from one, like a very, like, hyper masculine Black American environment. It's not encouraged, but I don't know. I've just had to embrace myself. I'm very super sensitive. I always was called that. So when people say that, I think there's a lot of, just like laughing, there's a lot of benefit to crying. I feel so much better personally.
I think my environment is pretty much like yours.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like I grew on a farm, tough shit, and then
Yeah,
you cry, you're being weak. Even
Weak.
girls.
Yeah.
Even girls. I remember the first time I felt so stressed that I cried was like before the Gaokao, the college entrance exam.
yeah.
Because that's my only way to leave the farm. And now I want to go back to the farm. It's awesome. It's therapeutic. But back then, I'm like I want to go to a different city.
Yeah.
I want to live a different life. I want to get a job in office.
Yeah.
I don't want to farm. I don't want to. I love it. I really love it. But like I want to experience different life, going to different places. And then I was just so stressed because there's my only way out, you know. And then I was just, all these 3 years in high school, I was like a nerd, didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
There were guys checking me out. I'm like, I don't have time for that. Yeah. Can you imagine from like a 16 to 19, you're living life like that? Okay, you study like 7 days a week.
Yeah.
No break at all.
Awful.
And then, like a month or two before the final exam, I was really stressed out. And I came back home. Every time we came back home, the first thing we did is put our bags in our home, go visit our grandparents. So that's how traditional we are. And we do love our grandparents. My grandma would make the best food whenever I come back home. And I wasn't even her favorite. She's very vocal. She's very candid about it. You're not my favorite, but I cook nice food for you, you know. And then so I was on my way to my grandparents' home, and I was just crying a river. And I got into the house. My grandfather was like, "You're crying?" I'm like, "No, it's the sand." And then just like had dinner or whatever. And then he talked to my family, my parents and my brother and sister, like, I don't think she will do well in the exam. She's being weak. She's crying.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So that's
That was the mindset of those.
Yeah.
I can see that.
right.
But I think we're past that now. I think that was a thing of the past. I don't think people think like that a lot. More so now than before.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think it's more acceptable.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. People know more now. Before, it was like one way to live, one way to think. And now people are understanding that even with therapy and all that stuff now, that's a more common thing now. So
Yeah.
I think it's not.
I'm about to ask a question since like a woman is our top, bitches are the topic for today, right? So I have so many questions, right? So, woman empowerment. So the other day we were hanging out. He's like, I don't support woman empowerment, but I support you. so I look, what does that mean?
That's a really cool statement to make.
I want to say I was joking.
No, camera. I'm joking.
I was just joking.
But like, cause like woman, there are so many definitions and labels. Like when it comes, it all depends on how you understand women empowerment. Cause no one here is like a misogynist. That's for sure. Like no one thinks women shouldn't have equal rights and stuff. But like You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I want to say that like I don't label myself as a misogynist, but I do recognize that what I've now is that if someone else makes me aware about something that I didn't know was misogynistic, that is within the realm of that maybe I have behaviors or thoughts that I don't know are actually misogynistic, and I just haven't been made aware. So yeah, I wouldn't label myself that, but it's very possible I have some sort of thought that I didn't even know. I've had it happen to me twice when I was in New York. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize. And then someone made me realize, when I was in New York, doing it at the UCB, on Upright Citizens Brigade, I remember. And then when my first show writing, I had a head writer, Eliza Skinner. So she's the head writer for the show. And I didn't realize that like, sometimes I'm talking very excited, right? And to her, it came off as me as like using my power as a man to talk over people, right? And so like I just became even more conscious about excitement and trying to wait until people talk and whatever. So just
Yeah. Also, before you answer that, because I don't want to put you on spot, because like when I do comedy, I always say that I'm not a feminist, and then but all my sets like portrays me as like an independent woman.
Sure.
And then so I have like an audience, and even other comedians, they come to me like, you see, you're not a feminist, but all your shit is so feminist.
Yeah. I don't know.
For me, when I say that, to me the joke is in like people not accepting truths, such as men are better at sports than women. I don't think you can debate that much.
On average.
On average, typically on average.
Because there are some women who would dunk the shit out of me. Like,
of course, there are outliers or women that train. Of course, any sport. I played badminton like 2-3 weeks ago. This woman crushed me like 21-7. Of course. So I mean, those things happen. I'm saying generally, men are better at women in sports. But somebody would argue with me that how I'm being misogynist and so on. Okay.
This is interesting because I was literally talking about 2 days ago about, you know how you think well, for me I think I'm very progressive, open-minded, but then I feel like I'm becoming older. You know, it's like, you know, you talk to the older generation, they have like dated views or whatever, very conservative. And then I realized this is the point where I'm becoming like older or dated, because when it comes to the issue of transgenderism in sports, I really don't know. I don't know. And I think is if I was so liberal and open-minded, I would be like, this is like, you know, you can have a guy who's like got a sex reassignment surgery and go play women's sports and just dominate. But right now I don't. Right now I think that this is something like biologically unfair.
And also,
right?
like,
so I feel like, oh man, that is the moment in my life where I become that old guy who's like a bigot, right?
But also look at you can use examples. If you use like an Asian petite woman, I'm not even like a petite by Asian standard. Sherry.
Yes, you are. What are you talking about?
I was trying to let her run with it. I don't know where she was going.
You're very thin. What are you talking about?
Let's say look at the guys here on average, like way much bigger than women. If you put them in Asian women's team.
What if he cut his dick off? Does that make
that's what I'm saying. Just cut your dick off, and then you're
it's
like
not
you're
just
20.
That. You're actually getting hormone therapy, right?
You're 20, like a 30, 50 centimeters taller than me, and now you're competing with me. How no? I would protest.
But the thing is, what we're saying right now.
You know what I'm saying?
What we're saying right now is that I don't know. There are people, especially Gen X. There are younger people who say no, that's not fair. If I am born in a man's body, but I identify as a woman and I get sex reassignment therapy, I should be allowed to
But that's all based on you. You identify. I want to identify as an American. Give me that passport.
Wait a second. I don't know if those completely align.
No, you can identify as anything you want. You can identify as a tree.
That's not fair.
As a mountain.
Because we're talking about like So there is some research on someone who is born phenotypically as a something, right? But when it comes to their, I know a little bit about this, but I've forgotten a little bit. So sex and gender and then sexuality are all three different things.
Right.
Three different things, right? So your sex is male, female, or whatever, right? And some people even want to argue that, but biologically sex, male, female, right? And then your gender is actually on a large, massive spectrum now, right? And that is something else. Now your sexuality is something. So people were saying, okay, yeah, my sex is male, but my gender is female, and my sexuality is whatever you're attracted to.
I think trans people.
So it's not something that. Wait a second. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying it's not something that you just change. Apparently, just like there's men who like other men, and they can't change that. There's that's their sexuality. They can't change that.
But like
you know what I mean?
that's your freedom. But like when you.
It's not freedom. It's like literally their biology, right? They can't. There's no choice.
All right.
That's what they say, right? And there's research that's saying that, like, okay.
But it's also like that's, for example, that's all based on like, for example, I think I am a woman, even though I'm 2 meters tall. I have all this facial hair, and I'm 2 meters tall with all these manly features. I want to join the female basketball team,
that's the part
and
where
then
I don't know.
competing with girls that are the same as me.
Yeah.
Me as a woman, I would protest.
Yeah.
You know,
I
that is
know,
not
I know,
fair.
I know.
And
That's-
also everything is based on how this person feels.
Yeah, I know.
Right? It's all about I feel I'm a woman, even though I have the biggest dick ever, and I'm 2 meters tall, and I still want to fuck a guy, but I'm a woman. You know, I still want to fuck a woman, but I'm a woman. So like, you have too much freedom, and you just parachute in my team and want to compete against me. How no? You can form a trans team. They should have trans Olympics.
That's one solution.
Trans Olympics, just like the Olympics. You know, all the disabled people should compete with disabled people. Trans people compete against trans people.
Oh my God! You're gonna go on the record saying that? All right.
Right.
Oh my God.
So here
podcast.
we have the true freedom of speech. Okay, because I play sports.
Yeah.
I play sports.
Yeah.
I do sports. I'm
Yeah.
very competitive.
Yeah,
I mean, if there's a 2 meter dude that just cut his dick off, and also I don't even know whether you really cut your dick off or not. You're not gonna show me.
No. It's not just like cutting the dick off. It's also hormonal therapy. Because these people are actually going through a lot
So he's gonna go into a lot of a process to make him more feminine. But his bone structure is still that big.
I haven't studied this completely, but I do know that there is some research for those who are born male or whatever, for example, but have not had the opportunity to undergo sex reassignment therapy, which is or gender reassignment therapy or whatever. They have highly depressive thoughts, or they want to kill themselves, or whatever. There's a lot of research.
It's not easy. Not saying their life is easy.
I'm on the fence with this, and all of America is too, right? There's like literally a lot of legislators saying, "Hey, no, you can't allow like children," because children are saying like they feel it early. They feel it early. They know early, ostensibly. Like they know early about this. And like, who can verify? Children always change their mind about what they like, whatever. And people are conflating a children's fleeting passions with their sexuality, which may, so it's hard for me to know. But what I disagree with, what I know is that it's not fair for someone with a lot of testosterone naturally to then enter another field where there's not as much testosterone, and then for whatever political reason start playing. I think that it should be based off of hormonal levels.
But then you gotta get a scientific reading, and then
for everybody, right?
If our readings are the same, then I guess we can play.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like test the man and the women for their testosterone and estrogen, and then put them in leagues based on that. Would that be fair?
But the things like sports, a larger part is about physical difference.
And that's based on testosterone.
Physical advantage.
Testosterone is what gives you that advantage.
And also like you're saying that female basketball, they play with smaller balls.
Right.
Right. So
really?
If you're a guy, let's say like the Shaq. Like one day he cuts his dick off. Is this Shaq? Am I right?
His name.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
His name is Shaq.
It's Shaq. Yeah.
All right. So he decided to cut his dick off, and
he would never cut his dick off.
Let's say if he wanted to. And then he cut his dick off. He's like, I want to play WNBA.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And he used to play with bigger balls. Now he's playing with smaller balls.
He's playing with no balls, actually. He's got no balls.
Right?
Yeah,
so that's how simple. Yeah, you can't
That's
just
what I'm saying. Just allow him to play in a league with equal
with all
amounts
the trends.
equal amounts of testosterone.
Yeah.
Because you can, even with sex reassignment therapy, you can only reduce testosterone to a certain amount of degree. He has so much, he's still probably going to be in a league with mostly dudes. And there's some women with a lot of testosterone. They could likely, like, play on, and there's some men with a little bit less testosterone. So I'm just saying, if we measure it all and not just go on sex, then maybe that is the equalizing solution. Yeah, you'll get some really, people say masculine women playing with other men. Her testosterone's high. Maybe you even get some men with low testosterone, high estrogen playing with other, whatever, right? But that testosterone we know scientifically is the defining factor. I've got more testosterone. I go to the gym. I can exercise more. My muscles can grow. You know, they can
get bigger faster.
They get bigger faster, right? But like you cannot do that with estrogen. It's not scientifically possible. That's it. That's what I've thought about this for a while, because it's such a big topic, and I don't know where to.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You guys are preparing to have a baby?
Wait a second. We really just switched topics. It's not about me,
Yeah.
man. What are you talking
Okay,
about?
it's all right. We'll come to him.
Having a baby.
Okay, because you can also comment. You're about a baby. Let's say your baby is 5 years old, and then you're like, Dad, it's a boy, and Dad, I think I'm a girl.
Lord.
I think-
5 years old, and you
Yeah,
said, I think, and we
yeah.
haven't even, that's the first words?
Right, like 10 years old. Like I think I'm a girl. What you gonna do?
I'd educate Zer, right? Not him or her, I don't know what it's gonna go by, right?
Yeah.
And just let him or her figure it out, right?
So like he's a guy in a guy's body, and I want to wear clothes like this to school.
Yeah. I know what you're trying to do, but I'm not that guy. I'm really not. I'm pretty open-minded.
I think you gotta let it
It's
play
not
out.
what I'm trying to do.
Because the thing
I'm
is,
just
my
like,
life isn't about
typical.
this unknown kid who's like gonna come. I've already said this to my wife. It's like, I don't give a. You can't live your life for this, whatever. My relationship is with my wife, and that's the most important thing. You can't determine. You don't know.
If
what you're gonna,
if he wants to
it
be,
might be an asshole. It might be a murderer.
you can just
I don't know.
kick him out when he's 10 years
No,
old.
what I'm trying to say is that, like, you're trying to have me emotionally invested in this person. I really don't care, because this person's
That's
is
typical
it-
black
It's
guy.
their own person.
That's typical black guy. I don't care about this kid that I just
Oh my God!
reproduced.
I am my father. That's why he left me. That's what happened. But No, I think that's a bigger part of it, that you got to realize that that person's not you. Like you got to let that person live.
That's very important.
Do your best to guide them down some road, some responsible road, but they're gonna do what they want to do at some point eventually. So
Do you have any kids?
do not.
Oh, okay. Do you want some?
I'll try it out. I don't mind.
That's a very
but,
casual
yeah.
way to look at children.
I'm not against it, but not yet. I haven't.
Yeah, you gotta find someone, right?
Yeah, and time, money, all that.
That's right, exactly.
All those things gotta come together at the right time.
Have you found, when it comes to, like, you know, we talked a little bit about relationships, bitches, right? And have you found that being here in Shanghai has, like, altered your perception of either basketball or bitches?
No, I think you realize it's all the same everywhere.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah, I think those two things, I think food, women, sports, I think is a universal concept idea that, of course, it may tweak from country to country, might tweak from city to city.
Yeah.
But I think it's more or less all the same. You like what you like, men, women, whatever sport you like that, and then food. Good food is good food.
Yeah, he cooks a lot, and it's always
really?
the same base.
The same base, what do you mean?
Same kind of food.
Oh, what's
But
your,
he cooks a lot.
what do you cook? What's your food?
Vegetables, chicken, beef.
That's great.
Keep it simple.
Is it like from, like, is it like cultural family? Like,
No, I can't cook cultural food like Caribbean food,
Yeah,
whether it's, for example, like curry or whatever. I can't necessarily cook that
okay.
to taste like how somebody in the Caribbean would cook it.
Okay.
So, and my family's full of amazing cooks, so I would never try to
Compete with
compete with that. So, but yeah, I like cooking. It's just fun. It's something to do, and
Would you describe yourself as like an artist when it comes to it, or is it just like, do you like the art of it, or just like is it like a some people say cooking is like an escapism. They can just sort of it's like what is the word, like meditation.
Yeah, I think art is a good word, because I just try shit every time.
Okay.
I can never cook the same thing twice, like to taste the same. 'Cause I don't know what I did the last time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's really just a freestyle. I'm just putting shit in there and see what happens. And yeah.
What's your go-to item?
Vegetables, whatever vegetables I come across.
What about eggs?
I mean, I'll do breakfast. I'll do an omelet.
Oh, okay,
I'll
okay.
do an omelet in the morning or something like that. But that's the only time I'll eat eggs.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. You don't cook? You're not a chef?
Not at all, man. No, I just focus on eggs, man. I just omelets, scrambled eggs. I just do egg creations like sunny side up. I can do all the other egg types.
You like boiled eggs? You fuck with boiled eggs?
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I actually don't eat them. I'll do them because that's what my wife likes.
Else,
but
yeah.
it's so simple. There's no much creativity in that. I really love the omelet because you can really put.
Yeah, you can freak omelet. You can freak omelet for sure.
Yeah, you can and there's an art to it, you know. And there's you gotta learn the pan and the fire, and then you can put whatever you want in it. So it's like a surprise, like a present.
Yeah.
You know what I
Says
mean?
a person that only knows how to cook eggs.
That's it. I've really focused on, the art of the egg, and then everything else I'm like, I don't really.
Yeah. I have a question. Back to the bitches. What's from man's point of view, what's the biggest misunderstanding women have of men?
The biggest misunderstanding.
Is it too
Probably that we
general
don't care.
question?
Oh, if I was to guess, one of them would be that we don't care. That we we're dismissive.
Women think you guys don't care enough.
Yeah, like we're dismissive of your feelings of a situation. I think sometimes we don't express or don't speak as much about or aren't as emotional about whatever you're talking about, whatever the topic is. So a response would be that you don't care, you don't appreciate what I'm saying, so on. And for the most part, we do, or we understand or we hear what you're saying. We either don't agree, or what you're saying don't make no sense. But I definitely understand what you're saying. So I think some of it is that we don't care about what you're saying.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You would agree with that?
Yeah, I think I would agree. But then again, I mean, obviously my expression on that is very narrow lately. Honestly, before marriage, I hadn't gone past 3 months
Relationship.
in a relationship. So and that's probably my own issues. But yeah, that's usually, I think that's about right. If you're dating, 3 months is where things you gotta figure out.
Yeah.
What's right?
Go left or right at this point.
Like, what's gonna happen? You've seen enough to be like, do I see a future here? But I've learned a lot in this dating and in the marriage, and I would agree with that. I do care a lot, but I think I'm not expressing that in the way that the other person would like me to. So it doesn't seem like I care, but I definitely do care or appreciate things.
Yeah? So that's you guys on the same page? You think that's the biggest misunderstanding women
I mean, it's hard for me.
have?
I mean, honestly, in this real question, if you want, it's hard for me to know to represent all men. What is the biggest misunderstanding? I haven't done any research on it at all.
No, but just
from my own opinion, I'm trying to think what I've learned, and honestly, I haven't been with that many women. You know what I'm saying? Look at me. I'm not.
Look at me.
Yeah. I'm not a tall dude who's just killing it. I was.
You think tall dudes have bitches easily?
Oh yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. What the fuck?
That's what they say. I don't know. There was a song about that. There was a song. I wish I was taller. I wish I was something.
Wish it was taller. Wish it was a
baller. Yeah, that song, right?
Something.
So
I know that song. I know the lyrics.
Yeah, I forgot the same. That was
I think I only
one-hit
know
wonder.
those lines for some reason because I'm a short man. No, but for me, I mean, height was always a thing because I was always the short kid, right? And then I just got over it. But
What made you get over it? Was it
just
easy?
living life and not and realizing that at a certain point, I'm not gonna get any taller.
So forget that idea.
Because what I would say is that like I'm gonna get taller. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm gonna grow. I would put like mind over matter, but the thing is, my mind can't get over the matter of the bone
physical.
structure. You can't.
Science can't get over the science.
Yeah. You can't will yourself into having bigger bones.
Yeah.
But I'm a romantic, so I would be like, I'm gonna get.
You're romantic? How?
I'm a romantic, so as in, like I would always fantasize or I would idealize about that. I would not just look at the facts, right? Which is like my mother is very short, my dad is taller, and I'm likely not gonna. I'm gonna be somewhere in between there.
Yeah. So then, what's the biggest misunderstanding men have of a woman? Like,
shouldn't we ask you that?
Yeah. No. Let me ask you first.
I don't know. Dude, I can't even talk for all men. How can I speak for all women? Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know.
The biggest misunderstanding men normally have of a woman.
Men have of women?
You seem to have an answer.
That they're loyal.
Oh.
We tend to think that a woman cares about me only. It's not the case.
Yeah, you know what? Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I know you're surprised that we agree, but I did guess the movie that he cried on, so we probably have the same
True
mind.
that.
So I wouldn't say you're right about that one too. Like but then there's a concern.
About the mom that left?
No, I was right about the his answer.
Oh, okay.
I would agree with him as well because I think that takes a certain kind of like mind maybe. There's an assumption in the traditional kind of conventional guy. It's like, oh, okay, she actually cares about me, whatever. But I think what we're witnessing, especially in the U.S. now, is that bitches don't give a fuck about guys. They're like, oh, yeah, I'm in this relationship until it matters to me or until you fuck up. And that actually is interesting to put it. I've told my wife this, that this is one of my greatest fears is that like, because I'm busy or whatever, that like, she'll feel like, oh, you're not paying attention to me, I want to leave. Because that is some American shit. That Americans will do, oh, you haven't been doing this, it's been like 3 weeks and you haven't done it. And she's like, I'm leaving. And I just feel like that is some bullshit.
Yeah. And then what you gonna do? You can't cry. Well, you can, but you're gonna cry about it.
Really?
So you just gotta take that on the chin.
Yeah, you start crying. She's like, "That's why I'm leaving you,
exactly.
you bitch."
Exactly. That's a. Yeah.
So that is like, but I find that, and I don't know, and that because for me, who started really dating white women. And that's one of the main reasons I stopped. No offense to all white women, but like that's the stop because it's like I'm not about to invest in this just because one day I didn't like take
walk
out the
dog,
trash or walk out the dog, and she's like, I'm leaving you. You know, some bullshit like that. Because that is some shit that will happen stereotypically. But I feel like black women or even Chinese women are a little bit more like the threshold at which that it takes for them to be like, I'm leaving you is a little bit higher than like the stereotypical black women, I think. But again, my experience and my perception is different. There may be some Chinese women who be like, what the fuck? I think the values are different. So I feel like if you're Chinese women, like if you're not making a salary, like or you're not bringing in money,
I got different
like,
values.
Exactly. But if you forget to take out trash, or if you don't whatever for a couple weeks, then she's probably not gonna leave you. But if you forget maybe some other thing, like you keep doing the forgetting maybe like the Chinese Valentine's Day or whatever, then maybe there's a threshold. But once you're locked down married, I think the idea of divorcing, I think in China is so like. We're gonna push through.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out.
We're gonna push
Black
through
culture,
this.
Spanish culture.
I think so, right?
I think women are more.
They're like, we're gonna make this work, but right now the feeling I get in the States, and even for some black women, is that like you get married and hey, you're still on the chopping block. Shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that is so frightening to me.
Yeah. So I think that's it for us. I think that's where you find. Domestic violence, all that stuff comes from men. Like they can't believe you would do that. So then that they get aggressive, they start acting out of character because they couldn't imagine that you would act like that. So then, and that's what I've seen in life, and especially in whether it's in the Caribbean or wherever. I think African cultures too. I think men are so dominant. They're so what's the word? Like overbearing, over zealous that they can do whatever they want. It's an ego thing too. Like, how could you do that to me? I'm me. And, so then they start tripping. And, yeah, I think that's how that happens. So, but luckily that happened before my time, so I was able to learn from that. So, not me. I ain't doing it, but I could see how that happened, for sure. From your point of view, what do we misunderstand about you, about women?
I don't know. I never thought about it actually.
When you posed the question,
I don't know.
Put people on the spot, make them sweat.
Okay, what's the question? What?
It was your question.
Man's misunderstanding of woman?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
It's all right. I guess we don't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
you know?
but I can only speak for me.
Of
you
course.
know, I
We
can't.
can all, we all, yeah.
I think when I came back to Shanghai, it's a very different thing. I think a lot of men think here, a lot of women that have no substance.
Like women are stupid. Like women are.
Women are like I think that's stereotypes about the woman here. I think like many girls don't have substance. Because I heard this from guys like, oh,
you don't have substance. Like,
yeah,
you don't have
I
anything
heard,
like.
yeah, I heard from guys like, oh, you know, like, 'cause they assume that when they just first met you, they assume you having no substance, and then when you surprise them, they're like, oh, I thought you had, you know, I thought, you have substance. So
I see,
yeah, I don't know where they get that from.
I thought you had substance.
Yeah, I doubt when I first met you, I thought you were like many other girls that you don't have substance. And then with time,
Man,
so yeah.
What kind of guy is saying that? I feel like, dude, any guy. I feel like not any guy, but someone who's saying that.
But it's not the first time I heard it.
Really?
You know? And it's not like a
What
guy.
do you- what do you
It's
mean
not.
these
No,
guys?
it's not. Also, it's not like a guy that a date. But I just.
You hear from
you
other
heard,
people. Yeah.
It's not okay. Yeah.
I feel like some guy who says that is just using language to try to, you know, build up his own ego. I feel like I
might
think
be game. You might be trying to boost her ego. Kind of thing. You got more science, more chemicals.
Yeah, I'm like that. I even did a bit
try
about it. Like I heard this guy saying that, oh, you have a lot of substance, like chemical substance. I don't fart that much.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's very weird.
But I think a lot part of it is more what he's saying that that's just it's a line. It sounds like a line to me.
It sounds like a line.
Ah, it's a line.
Yeah.
To
Okay.
make you feel good, like you're not like everyone else. You got more.
So you guys think guys normally have lines?
I think
You
most
guys do too?
I never had lines.
Yeah, I never.
Nah, says somebody who's an actor. You might just pick some from some movies.
But maybe I would have not pickup lines because I thought it was too. I could never pull it
Cliche?
off. Yeah, cliche. But maybe I would have general lines like stories or jokes that I would
That you
say.
told to one woman. Now I'm gonna reuse this one.
Or maybe stories. Usually, I told you, right, because I'm short, I would never go to clubs.
Yeah.
Right, so I started to do like house parties. I would kill it because the lights are
Change
on.
the environment.
Change the environment, house parties. Me and my friend David would just kill. We just make like jokes, whatever, and then maybe we would start dancing in the house, and then we would check. So maybe that was where I dominated, and that was my pickup. Yeah.
Lines?
No, I never got into it. I always wished that I did. Like I had like a script that I could just use, so I don't have to freestyle every time I speak to somebody. And I know guys that do. I know guys that like what we call game. They have game. They see a girl, they talk to them, they know what to say. They got jokes. I'm like.
They have like a Word document with all the lines.
Yeah, like a template of what to say.
They really did.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
And,
yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, I never did it. I wish I wish I did, but I don't got the time to do that. And,
I was in the boys' dorms for high school, and as a freshman, all these older guys. I remember this guy. I'll never forget him. His name is Chris Reed. He had the best game ever, right? And so whenever I was trying to send texts to girls on the flip phone, flip phone, and I was texting, I always have to ask them, like, what did I say? You know what I mean? Because I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You're just a teenage girl. You're just trying to like get this person to like you through text. And it's like, you don't know what to say. So, but there's dudes, for some reason, they just took it. That was like something they just knew off bat, we would say. But it just means like they just knew it intrinsically. They just knew it like naturally. And that was.
Do you guys feel that it's a competition when guys that are doing things like that?
I mean, it's a competition regardless. No matter. I mean, when men meeting women,
Yeah, it's definitely competition.
it's a field. So I mean, you're gonna win something, you're gonna lose something.
It's a field. It's a field.
So that is the competition,
I
but
think
I don't take
yeah.
it as a challenge. I mean,
It's just a state of affairs, right?
yeah.
You know, it's like every other species. You know, like peacocks. The man's got to show his feathers, whatever.
But I think men are more aware of that it's a game, but girls, because you don't normally go out and do all this work
Yeah,
to
you're not the
impress,
aggressor.
to impress other people.
I think women are aware that it's a game.
Passive aggressive.
You know it's a game. What
You really?
That's why y'all
that's why you dress it
coming
like,
out looking like this.
Yeah, why you dress? And then people, they know it's a game. Like I'm, trying to send out my pheromones, trying to send out signals, right? It's all a game. Whether it's status, like, oh, I'm a businesswoman, or body, or I'm in the gym, or if it's like, oh, I'm stylish, we're all sending signals to indicate something to attract something.
Really?
Yeah!
I think men are like, this as a theory. Women probably don't know this as a theory. You just do it. For example, like I wear this because I like this dress.
So how do you explain BBLs?
What's that?
Butt lifts, breast enhancements.
I don't do that.
I'm saying that is a thing,
Okay.
and it's done in competition to be better than the next
to
one.
be honest, that does more harm in the long run.
Yeah, it's 50-50. I mean, it's surgery. I think all surgery is 50-50. So I think, but I think that's done in competition. I mean,
I think that's really toxic.
yeah.
It can't be
Y'all are.
yeah.
But some women would say
But-
it's for
Maybe it's both, man.
self-soothing,
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
Yeah, maybe we're going to the gym for ourselves, but also check the powder. Maybe I'm not denying the fact that makeup is sometimes an empowering thing for someone. It's not to attract anybody. It's just to make you feel better. And I get that. I've learned that. I didn't always think that way, but I've definitely learned that. So I respect that. And also, there's those two realities can coexist. I think that there's people who just do it to both attract people and make themselves look good, like confidence, or people who just do it to only attract people, and it's just a mixture of all of it, maybe. Yeah.
Now here's the question: do those things feel different? I almost said taste different.
Yeah. Do those things taste different? What things?
What two things?
The BB what? The
Oh, the butt lifts and the surgery and so on.
Oh, you're talking about like, do fake breasts feel differently and taste differently than real breasts? Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
They do. Yeah. One feels fake and the other feels real.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How fake is it?
Yeah.
How fake? What do you mean how fake? It just feels like too
rubber?
firm.
Oh, too firm.
Too firm. Yeah, and it's just like.
Yeah, there's not much bounce back.
Yeah, there's not much bounce back. And also, for me, I'm actually a little scared because I don't know how rough you can get because it might burst. Something might happen, right? And so I'm actually hyper cautious, right? But if it's real, I'm like, what the?
And she could give you a better feedback. I feel as if it's not hers, she don't know what she's feeling.
That's
So-
oh man, he's even more empathetic. Yeah, me, I'm just really, I'm just a.
Women empowerment. For sure.
Yeah.
I care about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What,
I care about how you
But
feel.
you were saying it's a joke just now. Okay, we forgot to let you dive into that. Right? You're like half of it is a joke.
Yeah, no, I was saying that the idea comes from fact versus fiction. That
Oh, okay.
yeah, so that was what I was saying.
I mean, we're half kidding, but there's some truth in jokes, right? I mean, I have a very limited experience with, like, in terms of the number of women I've been with, right? And that's just my own choice.
Adam's been on this show all the time. Every time he makes a point, I have a very small number.
Well, it's true. I mean,
No, he's getting married. You got to say that.
no, but it's also true.
That's
Look, my brother and my dad would always argue about how they have way more bitches.
Yeah.
So like we literally had a count when I was like in college, and like, yeah, they're like double my numbers. Like that's their thing to this day. My brother has a mental illness. Like he's a killer, man. He's not like a killer, but he's like getting women easily to this day, even though.
So what kind of woman does he attract?
Like he would say, hood rats.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he likes.
that's his thing. Fair enough.
I've asked him like, what kind of girl are you trying to get? He was like, hoes. He knows exactly.
He knows what he wants.
He knows.
Fair enough.
It's like skanks, hood rats. You know.
That boy low.
Yeah.
That's why his number's so high. You can get that.
Getting the bottom feeders.
You can get that.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you gotta raise that standard a little bit.
No, he doesn't know. It's like he doesn't cares about, you know.
Yeah.
I think another misunderstanding women have of men is like men don't have
Standards.
Some men don't have standards.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So it's not a misunderstanding. A lot of men don't. That's true.
But that's not fair to say, man. I mean, like that about standards. I feel like every woman's at a different place in life. Just like there's dudes who are like skanks.
But in general, we're talking about in general.
Sure. I just want to come off as hyper misogynistic. There's like dudes who are skanks and whatever. So yeah.
And I feel like that's messed up for you to say. As a woman, what do you mean? What's wrong with her? What's wrong with the girl? Why is she of low standard?
Why? Oh, okay. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So who's really the misogynist here?
No, I said I probably more misogynistic than a lot of people, but
She did say that.
just
We got
that.
it. We got it.
I was raised.
Yeah.
I was raised as a
herself.
tomboy. I was raised as a tomboy.
Oh, okay.
No, it's. For example, let me give an example. Like for example, like we all had ex-boyfriends, girlfriends, right? But if I run into my ex and he is with a woman that I like and appreciate, I'm like, good for you, and I feel happy. And if I see him with a girl that I'm like, cause like we all have energy. Like you like somebody and you attract somebody, and also even though you just meet a person for the first time, you have a rough idea of this person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then let's say I run into my ex, and then he's with a girl this girl's beautiful, smart. I'm like I feel unvalued. You know, because he is consistent.
Oh.
And it's just things didn't work out for us.
Oh, I see.
But if I see him with the trash,
I see.
and then also, you know, and then I'm like,
What makes her trash?
you can definitely, you want.
That's what I want to know.
All right, okay. I don't want to go like a stereotypical, but okay. Now we want to shit on places. So I have friends.
Sure.
Okay, I have like Evan Dinger. Evan Dinger love to go to Spectre's.
What is that?
Spectre's a dive bar.
Yeah.
It's a dive
And
bar. Okay.
I hate that place.
Okay.
But
Why?
I am
Okay.
his wingman.
Sure.
You know that what I do. And I'm like, don't like to go there. The girls look at those girls that failed high school entrance exams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you cannot have a conversation with them for more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. So if I see my ex with the person, not just looks. Most of the time, it's the vibe.
I see.
You can smell somebody's intelligence.
All right. I could.
Yeah.
You can
I'll give
smell
you
a
that.
person. Like when I meet you, I know you're an intelligent man that has a goal. You know?
Oh, really?
And then let's say if I meet a guy I found, okay, I'm trashing places now. I found this drunk at
Yeah,
the
they're
top,
never gonna
like
sponsor us.
the energy and stuff like that. I'm like, you can smell the difference.
Or
'cause
maybe
they're
they
just
will
too-
sponsor us because like that's on brand.
You can smell
Come
the
here
difference.
if you want late night things that don't last long.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah,
not
yeah.
blind.
Yeah.
We're not blind.
I think it's-
and then that's what I'm
I see.
saying. For example, yeah, if I see my ex is with like a woman I appreciate, and that's good. If I see him like you're with this person, why was I with? Yeah, that's why you know.
I think it's stages of life. I feel like that environment is okay, and it's for a certain type of person that's at a certain stage in their life. And then when you decide that you want something longer or whatever, and that's not what you want, you go to a different place. And so all these places have value, I think. For
Hoes
some
have
people.
values. That's your.
What I'm trying to say is that hoes have value,
Yeah.
and right now they're serving my brother very well.
Yeah.
For a long time, he's a very happy man.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, but I want to comment where you said you're like men tend to think women only care about you. But what I would say is like
Well, men like to be appreciated by the person that has said, or like, if a dude at some point, and I'm just speaking for me, I'm gonna be very hesitant to ever say, hey, we're a thing exclusively, right? But whatever. But if I cross that threshold, and we're doing things that are very exclusive in public, you know, whatever, we're an item, and then. So that comes with a massive load of assumptions about you, or we're a thing.
you better you have to be there to think you're like that.
Right.
If you're not even there, you haven't established
Yeah,
that. You
yeah.
haven't given each other the recognition.
But I think it could be also communication thing, because I think that sometimes there's unspoken expectations, right?
That's
that
very
people
true.
don't say. So, and that's, people need to say that, right? So actually, people say love is unconditional, ideally, but it's very conditional in the beginning stages. I think on the condition that you have a job, or on the condition that you are whatever, I am invested in this. And then obviously love grows as you learn. That's what I think. I think it grows and you become a person with this person or whatever. But I feel like realistically it's very unspoken conditions. I think the idea of I just saw you across the room and love at first sight, I would just give my life for you. I think that, I don't really believe in that personally, but some people do.
Love at first sight, I believe in that, for sure.
Oh, you do?
Love at first sight, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Maybe because I used to be very, what do you call that, superficial? Very,
okay,
so
okay.
you see an amazing person, you'd be like, I'm gonna marry
But
her.
is that love though? That's just like, I want to.
Does that develop?
Yeah.
Does that develop? Or it
Yeah.
stops at some point?
Yeah,
Because if you look at someone, that's all gonna fade, right? We're talking.
as you get older, you realize that.
Yeah.
I've been in 2 long-term relationships.
Yeah.
Both started from seeing her across the room, going, and then never left her from that
I see.
interaction.
That's it. So when you see someone that you're like, oh my God, will you go up to that person?
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. Because I've seen people, I'm like, oh my God, and I just avoid them.
I've also done that. Sometimes you get too nervous or too whatever. You end
I
up
see a
making
lot of
excuses.
people. Yeah.
I've done that too.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about the 2 relationships that I did have.
Got it.
Were that sometimes you just gotta shoot. If you don't shoot, you ain't gonna score.
That's true. Yeah,
So-
you gotta shoot your shot.
Yeah.
You also go ahead.
Have you ever shot your shot?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
I was raised traditionally. Yeah, you don't go out and you just wait for people to approach you. Yeah,
Oh.
that's still I think very much like that.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So the Bumble thing, like it's bullshit. I don't want to initiate.
Yeah.
So like just wait for people, and also I think if a guy likes me, he will make a move, and yeah, so.
But that's
That's what I'm saying. What if we're too nervous?
What if he's-
what if-
I don't know. And then
My wife, she made the move.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
When I first saw her, I was like, "There's no way I have a chance here. There's no way." And she was running. I was like, "There's no way." And then she was doing the thing. She was like, did the table touch. She said, and she thought I hadn't have any friends. Because apparently in her mind, I said I don't have any friends. I'm lonely. But I never said that. I was just working at a restaurant. And then she invited me out to Shake, which is a jazz bar, to go because her friend was playing a jazz. And then she's, and that's how it started. If she didn't do that, it would never.
I'm very bad at initiating things, especially I did the personality test, which I resisted for a long time, and Dawn was like, "You definitely, you look like an outgoing person, but you're definitely introvert."
Oh, you were I something on I?
Yeah. It was true. I don't.
I think many comedians are introverts.
Yeah, very true. I don't make the move, and also when I'm working, I'm so focused, so I don't do all of that. But there was one time actually I made a move. So I saw this band playing, and the guy was checking me out. And during the break, I think he was trying to have a conversation with me, but I was busy talking to other people. And then they went back to play, but I had to leave. Then I just I was very nervous. I wrote my number, and then I just went up to the band and I gave it to him. I just gave it, and I just left. So they were playing, and I just walked past the whole crowd, and I gave the number to him. And then he was playing, and he took it, put it in his pocket. I left, and the next day he texted me. Yeah. And he was like, he's like, "You made my night."
Oh, that's great.
You made my night. Yeah. Okay, that was one of the best memories I ever had. Yeah. And I did check you out. I wanted to have a conversation. Yeah. But I'm married.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like, "Well, I'm married." Yeah. And then he's like, "Don't let anyone stop doing this ever again." I think it's super cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you keep doing it?
No.
Last time you stopped.
But it was very beautiful. This guy was so respectful.
Wow.
I really like how he said that.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of pressure to do that, right? Guys have to do that all the time.
Well,
I didn't do it. I'm a bitch.
But I feel
stupid. But that's what we got to do all the time.
When I said we're going to talk about bitches, I meant me. Yeah. I cry and I don't go out to them.
I don't think I ever made the move, or send out signals like, "Oh, you can make the move." Yeah, just.
I feel like I sent out a lot of signals, and then this. Just a couple of people.
Yeah, but the thing is that also when I'm doing comedy, I'm joking. I'm joking with the audience and stuff. But I wasn't serious. Yeah. Yeah, and so that's I think it's a very interesting thing.
I think the fear of rejection is a huge part of it, right?
Yeah.
For me, it was. It was like, man, because there's so many things I'm aware about that I don't like about myself. And I'm like, oh man, I like this person. What if they find out those things? It's not worth it. I'm just gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home.
Change the whole.
I'm gonna go home and change the environment. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'd rather focus on something else. And so that's for me. That was always why I didn't ever make
I think when I was younger, especially in college, I felt that I was just like this little ugly duck. You know what I'm saying? And also I feel that I have so many goals and work to do, and I did feel that if I'm with this guy, I don't think I am happy with I am myself.
With who you are.
You really get into a really good point.
Yeah, I'm like I have so much work. I'm not at a point that I feel that I've achieved this or achieved that, or either physically, either intellectually, academically, socially. Like I don't feel I'm good enough to attract a guy that is also good and appreciate me. So when I was younger, because I came from a farm, and I just by farm standard, I'm great. And then I'm living in the city, and also people are more pretentious in the city.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, also I have so much work to do because I only have a farm to return to, so I'm too driven to have random relationships.
Only a farm. Farm is great. If you have a
Now
farm.
I want to go back.
You up if you got a farm.
Yeah, you're up, right? You can you got
Livestock.
livestock. You got grains. You
Yeah.
got food for days.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, whenever I hear someone has a farm, I'm like, oh my god, you're rich.
Yeah,
Okay.
you get money. You get money. You
Here,
got a farm.
actually, it's you can really feed yourself well if you only have the farm. You really don't have to go, because like now you see a lot of migrant workers
Yeah.
in Shanghai. They're all from the south because they don't have enough land. It's more populated.
Right.
But my home is wild. It's like Inner Mongolia, loads of land,
How cool is that,
fertile.
man?
Yeah, so
Why
like
come to the city?
depression.
It's not.
It's calling for me. Yeah. So yeah, and then I just felt until I was probably 28, I still feel that I haven't seen the world
Yeah.
and I need to leave the country. So at the back of my mind, I just think relationships were secondary. Unless it's really good, because
Yeah.
I don't think I'm at a point that I can attract men that gonna build a strong partnership with me.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to think, but I think it's a thin line. I think one, you're always good enough. I feel like you should always think that you're always good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But the second part is that you need to get right before you give yourself to somebody else. Like you need to do you, build yourself so you have something to give to someone, so you have something to share with somebody before you do it.
I think you're totally right about
So
that.
I think that's
I'm curious if you don't mind my asking this, like, where were you with your self-love during your first marriage?
I was good. I was
okay.
yeah. I've never been like doubtful of anything.
Okay.
Like I said, my life was sports and school, and that was going well for the most part, all the time. So I never felt like.
Was that a while ago, your marriage?
Yeah, probably finished like 2 years ago.
Oh,
I
wow,
got divorced
okay.
like two years ago.
That's really recent.
Feels like a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How long were you married, if I may?
5, 6 years,
That's
7
wow,
years.
wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you were pretty young.
Yeah, no, I met her when I was 21, 22.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so yeah, it was all good. And but like I said, I think time, traveling, distance, all that played a part in that.
For sure.
And I was fucking up, but that's another story.
Wait. You can't just say that and not talk about it on the show?
Men make mistakes. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So,
we're talking about,
Yeah,
I'm assuming infidelity.
those things happen as well, but
Okay.
I think over time,
How do you,
yeah.
yeah, that's probably one of those things that even, no matter if you're a black woman, Chinese woman, if there's something like that, they're like, it's not gonna work. It's gonna really cross the line. I think, right? I don't know, unless you're.
Like I don't know, like Beyonce and Jay-Z worked it
Oh
out.
yeah, that's right.
Worked it out,
Yeah,
and they
but
also
they're
say,
like, okay.
they also say that
You're
there's a
gonna
lot
leave
of
a
pressure.
multi-billionaire?
They
Like,
also
like-
say- they also said that it's a lot of pressure to forgive.
There's a lot of pressure to forgive.
forgive somebody that has had infidelity.
I guess if you're like a huge icon, yeah. But the thing is, once that happens, can you ever really trust the person again? You know what I'm saying? Can you ever go back to where it was before?
For sure, I think so. I think people make mistakes. People
Yeah,
do
there's
shit for
definitely-
random reasons,
For sure,
and
for sure.
you never know what happened in that moment.
Yeah.
And we're human. I don't know. I just like that saying.
I like to
So-
say I can just write off
Hey,
all the
I
things
can
that
run
I've
with
done.
that. Exactly.
I'm human. I'm just. What do you expect?
But,
you know?
yeah.
So,
But I think the damage is so it's also like it depends on people. Some people have certain values. Like if this ever happens, no way.
Everyone's got different bottom lines.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
but different bottom lines. Some
Yeah,
people
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
have high tolerance, lower tolerance, but definitely needs a lot of work. It's a lot of work to fix the damage. And also, I think people evolve. Some people don't, actually.
Every situation is different, I guess, because you never know what's going on. I mean, we're seeing the infidelity like everything's perfect, but there could be like a really down period, right? Where like you guys not talking, whatever. She's doing something. She's like flirting with other guys or whatever, and then you're like, well, what the?
yeah,
Whatever.
I might as well.
You might as well.
Yeah.
Right. So I can. I can't. Well, I don't know. So I can empathize. Certainly empathize with like.
Yeah.
Like, cause there can be, it's like very complex in a relationship. And if someone's indicating that they no longer love you in some way, and the love is lost.
Or you interpret that, because that might not be true.
That might not be true.
But you might interpret,
it
from
that
how
way,
they, from how they move.
And that's just obviously communication and whatnot, but like it's hard, right?
Yeah.
So this is my trying to empathize with whatever happened without, because we haven't discussed it.
Yeah.
But I know that like that's definitely one of my, it's not, but you know, bottom lines.
And going back to the male ego thing, I think males would have a harder time historically, or generally have a harder time taking back a woman that cheated versus the other way around.
I think, yeah, conventionally or stereotypically, yeah, I think you're right. Do you think that if you were with a guy and he cheated on you, you would have the capacity to take him back?
I think it's gonna be, he's better be very good in every way.
He's bringing in money. He's got a big dick. You know, just
right. You know, he's better be worth it. You know,
right.
He's better be worth it. Like if he can, for example, you know, I can only speak for myself.
Sure.
Okay. Like the divorce rate in my family is super low because we have farm strong.
You can't find anybody. They're way in another place.
Gotta stay.
I would leave you, but they're like miles away.
Yeah, and the things like we live like a tough life and strong partnership between my parents, my grandparents, my uncles and aunts.
Yeah.
So it's like that's nobody got divorced. They just worked through. And then also my grandparents, they've lived together for almost 80 years.
That's so cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, so for example, when it comes to, the things like, because no matter who you're with, at the end of the day, the most important thing is how you feel about yourself.
All right. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, as well.
How you feel about yourself. If you're with this person, okay, and for example, if you're the only person that's making all the efforts, and the other person is not doing it, and like it's about balance. That's what I'm saying. Because like you were saying that I think I think I'm the only one that you care about, but it's about balance. You know, nobody's stupid. You know, right? Like. Then am I the only one that you only care about? So, because if the balance is tilted for a longer period of time, it's not gonna work. You know.
Yeah.
It's about maintaining that balance.
I think you're talking about a couple different layers of topics. So, I must say that yes, how I look at myself does matter, but also at least my wife genuinely makes me feel different. Also, I think that she has a genuinely unique perspective on whatever things. But that's beside the point. I think that what you're saying is that like the sort of balance in the phrase of like I think you're sort of taking the phrase that we're saying like that this person cares about me only or whatever, and the only part as in like some sort of obsession or like they are not hanging out with their friends, and that's not exactly what I meant. I don't know if that's what you meant either. Like, of course, like that this person has her own life, right? All right, and whatnot. But
he was talking about that. Follow your question about open marriages.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you wait? All right.
Because you were talking about if like, will I have the capacity to take a man back if he had cheated on me?
Right.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that one, this person better be worth it.
Right.
Two, it also has a lot to do with how strong your relationship is, how strong your relationship is, how strong your partnership is, how much trust and connection you have with each other, right? If you have all of that, and then you're like, let's work on that. And also, it's two-way. It's not just this woman is working on it, and this guy is keep doing what he's doing. And also, like, because I remember Jay-Z was saying like it's super hard, because like after he cheated, he has to own it. That's the first thing you do. You have to own it, and you have to acknowledge her feelings, and you have to accept. Maybe it's even more difficult for the guy than the girl, because the girl is like, she's just like, you're wrong. You know, that's one thing. You're wrong. You did it wrong. I'm hurt. And this guy, shit, I fucked up. You know, I got caught. And then, am I gonna face it? I'm gonna own it. And now I'm owning it. And how I'm gonna make her feel that she can trust me again. So probably it's more work. And also it's, remember Dane Cook had this joke, like he cheated, and then he was like the girl coming back home. And then he came back. It's like the first thing, go to the toilet and wash his dick off, and then came to bed. The girl was like half asleep. Where did you go? And he started making up all these lies. I got caught in the traffic. I was talking to people. And then the next day, and then she's like, oh, I'm gonna go to wash my car. I'm like, bitch, where did you wash your car? You know, it's probably harder for the guy than the woman. The woman is just hurt. It's just hurt, and the guy is like, he also want to make this work, you know, and then you have to do more. There are different steps that you have to do. Then this woman is just angry and hurt.
Patrice O'Neal has a really good joke about it. It's a funny joke in the sense that he tries to say that, like, you know, a guy, you know, we're doing all these lies or whatever. We're doing those so that we don't hurt your feelings. So when we cheat, it's actually for you. That's a good joke. But I think that for yeah, man,
because also if this.
But that's
guy,
to his point, though. His point is that, like, if a woman, like you just said, that your response wasn't no. You said it can work. I will take him back if blah 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 blah. But I'm telling you right now, if my wife cheats on me, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna. It's not gonna. And I already know she's already said that's her bottom line as well, right? Because I know her. We talked a lot about this situation. But yeah, I think that's the point you're trying to make.
It also has a lot to do with where you are. For example, if you're in a marriage for 30 years, both of you get tired of each other. You know, that.
Man, in 30 years, I'm gonna be a 60-year-old man. I'll still be able to kick it.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So
she's Chinese.
Better act right.
She can do that too.
Better act right.
I'm gonna be in the spring. I'm still running. I'm still gonna look. I'm gonna look 50 years old, maybe, hopefully, and I'll be out in the dating world.
I would think the closest person, as you said, is your partner.
Yeah.
For example, like if you did cheat and you own it, like it's like but you determined to make this work. It also has a lot to do with the guys. It's just, I cheated. What you gonna do about this? Bye. You know, you're like a douchebag. But if you like, I cheated, I'm feeling so bad. I want to work on this. And you also show that maybe, you know, will keep this woman for a while to observe you.
Do you got
give you probation?
I'm really curious about your perspective, but also you're the guest. We gotta, like, what's your, and you have experience in here. So like, but then again, our job is to pry, but then I don't want to pry so much.
But our job is to make jokes.
Yeah, but I know. Yeah.
This is all a joke.
Yeah.
Ask away. We're joking.
I mean, like, so I'm just curious about, like, you gotta tell me, like, what you gotta tell us what happened. Can you a little bit?
So I can tell you an imaginary story. I think you just go through life, and part of it is, I want to say habit or habitat.
Okay.
That if you're around women all the time, so we on basketball teams, you're around cheerleaders, you're around fans, and so on. So there's a lot of temptation, and
for sure,
and it's the norm
and they're
of
jumping around, and they got
short
boobs.
skirts and
right.
So that is a challenge, and you have friends and teammates and everybody so that is the norm. And then in my situation, I have friends that are musicians and so on.
Yeah.
So we're at the strip club every Friday, every Saturday.
Wait a second. You said...
I'm saying this has been going on since I was 17, 18.
Why does being a musician go to, like, so we were at strip clubs? Because there are musicians who are not at strip clubs all the time, right? Or no?
Not in
Okay.
hip hop and rap.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah, so at least my friends.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know what.
I don't know why I imagine like a whole bunch of jazz musicians, like just at a.
I'm pretty sure jazz musicians be at strip clubs.
Yeah. Okay.
To be fair.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so that was the environment from out of high school.
Okay.
And so that's the norm. So then 3-4 years later after that, but I still had the mindset of being in a
Sure.
monogamous, for following my dad, following my sisters and so on, my
Yeah.
brothers. I was like, one-on-one monogamous relationship, let's do that.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. And but as I leave the house, I'm at the strip club. In another,
Oh, I see.
in another city for a basketball game or something like that.
Got it.
So the temptation was always there, but you keep it in your pants, as they say.
Right.
So I did that for the most part. But then, I'm human. So,
Love that phrase.
Yeah,
What are you gonna do?
so that happened. And
I'm gonna start saying that whenever.
whenever you fuck up,
Yeah.
come on, man.
I'm a human. I'm human.
Comedians also have this challenge when you're touring.
Right.
When
I
you're
could imagine.
Touring when you're always on the
And you have
road.
fans. You guys have fans, like people that come up to you.
Guys,
And,
it's sweet. I've seen comedians, like when I was living in Malaysia, these international headliners, after they finish a show, the girls are just sitting there. Very easy. And this guy doesn't have to go to other girls that might take a bit of a conversation.
and you are the star, so to speak. Like you are the man of the night, the woman of the hour. So it's like people are looking at you the whole night in amazement or appreciating what you do or whatever. And so I can imagine how that the challenge that presents. Like as soon as you come off stage.
If you're single, that's great, actually.
If you're single, it's
that's
great. But I'm gonna be honest that I think that you guys are right. That there is, if I would be a fool to say that like after a show when people express excitement that there isn't some sort of like struggle I must go through even as a married man. But what keeps me, because I've thought about this a lot actually, is one. My wife has a very good nose, so she can smell things from like miles away. That's one thing. So and she's very, just like her mom, very perceptive. So I definitely would get caught. That's one thing. That's not the first thing, but that is one thing. The first thing, actually, the most important thing is I could not live with myself. I could not look this person in the eye and tell her that I love her, knowing that I had done something. I just.
So that's
why I'm a poor actor, because it has to come from within. It has to come from, I literally would be, it wouldn't feel the same. I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? Every one of those moments.
That's what I'm telling you. It's harder on the guy that cheats, or the person that cheats.
Oh, that's what you mean.
That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
There's
an internal struggle.
Internal struggle, the guilt, and then whether do you confess or not confess.
Yeah.
If you confess, you're afraid of the consequence. If you don't, I'm like, you have made it.
I'm also afraid of just living with myself and also like who I think of myself as, right? And, you know, I think that I try to uphold some sort of standards of how I look at myself and my own reputation for myself. Because at the end of the day, I have to sleep with myself. And if at the end of the day, before I go to sleep, I have to remember, oh, I did that to someone, then that's going to haunt me. And that's still, before I was married, when I was in college and had 3 girlfriends at once, and I hurt many people's feelings.
You had that face?
Yeah. What?
That face?
Surprised?
Yeah. What are you trying to say?
Yeah,
No,
that face.
I tried to.
3 at the same time.
Yeah, I tried.
Damn, you're good.
No, I was not in love with myself. I was just, and I didn't like my mom at the time, so I was doing all this stuff. But I did hurt some people's feelings, and I literally think about that. Not all the time, but it does. I don't like myself for that. And if I ever had the chance to apologize to them directly, I would. But it's just so awkward, right? Obviously. And yeah, they brushed over years ago, way back in college. But it's certainly to this day something I have to deal with, right? Like that is something I've done, right? And I have to own it. And I don't think of myself as that way, but hey, I'm just human.
I just cannot picture you as a whole.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's I don't like that word. I think
I don't know if I was a hoe. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say I was a hoe. I think I was a pimp.
Right. I mean, choose your words carefully.
Thank you. I was a pimp.
But I think it's trial and error. I think, and you have these feelings for different people. It's not like, I think we got to stop acting like I like you and I like y'all both cool people. It's just sometimes the two people end up being women. So we gotta talk and we gonna figure it out. And
I love that. It's an open question. We got to talk. We're going to figure it out. Let's open discussion about this. Maybe we can all just be together.
Right.
You got to navigate the argument. That's great.
So, and as you're growing up, and at that same time, you are figuring, like he said, you're figuring out yourself. You're figuring out different things are happening to you. So you got to multitask. And I don't have time to just focus on this relationship and what is the right and wrong thing to do. Because after this, I got to go home. My mom's yelling at me. I got to fight my brother because he took the last piece of chicken. And then I got to wake up in the morning and go to school. So all those things are happening. You can't expect me to divulge all my time and energy into what's going on right here. So we're just going to figure that out later.
Yeah, I feel like he's talking specifically about a moment in his life. Yeah, but that's right. When you're going through all that, yeah, it would be hard to, because in a relationship, it's like an activity. You got to invest in that person. You got to be ready. Everything's, you can't be worried about a lot of other stuff, I think.
Yeah. Being catfished. Is that what you said?
Have I been catfished? Yeah. It's not cool. Don't ever do that to anybody. That's not cool.
That is wild. You've been catfished?
Yeah.
What happened?
I think it was more of a joke on my friend's part.
Oh.
They tried to set me up, told me they got a friend for me.
Oh, okay, okay.
And yeah, so I was like, let's do it. And but I talked to the girl on the phone and so on.
Yeah.
And we had FaceTime, but every time we FaceTime, she's like in the distance. Like she would prop her phone on the stand or whatever, and just be sitting there. So I'm like, all right,
Hey,
so
let me see your face. No, I'm not.
I don't feel like getting up. She don't want to get up. All right. So I've seen her, but not really seen her.
I've seen her, but I haven't seen her.
Yeah. So we meet. So I was like, let's meet. Long story short, we meet, and she looks nothing like what I had seen. She even sounded different. She sounded like a man. Like,
oh,
you got
catfish.
Yeah.
By a man?
Dude?
No, she was a woman.
She was a woman.
But her voice was just raspy. It wasn't. But on the phone, she was very subtle and quiet.
So who was on the phone?
Transgender.
It was her. But I guess when you're on the
talking
phone,
like-
you're kind of like calm and relaxed.
Okay.
But in real life, she.
So when she's nervous, the man part comes out.
Yo.
Man, and
I would be so upset.
Do you think she deliberately tried to hide?
I think people pretend all the time. I think people pretend.
She didn't deliberately catfish you.
I don't think she tried to trick me.
She's just different in person than on the phone.
No, I think that she probably was strategic in what she was trying to
Yeah,
do.
I believe that. Yeah,
That's normal.
because it was
For
too
example.
drastic, though.
No,
Okay.
she knows that she has a raspy voice, and she was trying to.
But you guys are against people that have a raspy voice?
No, but tell me that from the beginning. I'm saying, speak to me how you always speak.
Yeah. That way you can make the decision early. I don't have to pay some money to go see you.
Now I'm defending her. You're trying to fake a good impression. That's all we do.
But that's a little bit drastic, man. You literally are changing your speech patterns.
Yeah.
And vocal patterns.
So what
not
if
showing your face.
What if it's like when she meets you in person, she's too nervous, and then when she's nervous, that's how she sounds. But when she's on the phone, she's more confident. So it's just the voice or also the look?
The look too. She had
Adam's apple.
No, she had scars. Like she wore so on the thing she had on a shirt. When I seen her in person, she had something like that, like a vest or whatever you call that. I don't know what that's called.
Yeah.
And she had like knife wounds like on her shoulder. And
someone my brother would like.
Right. I'll put your brother on.
Hey, when I say men don't have standards, that's a good example. Because like you when you meet her for the first 5 minutes, like that's not,
Yeah.
You know.
I just didn't like being tricked. Like, oh, you tricked me. You knew if I
knew
saw
you had
it.
white knife wounds.
Yeah.
Did you come from date.
Nah, I couldn't confront her because I don't know her background. I don't know
You
if
don't
she
know how
got
she got those knife wounds.
Exactly.
Maybe she's got a knife herself. She's like out here stabbing herself.
So how did you finish that date?
So we just talked. I just played it cool. We hung out.
Those are some nice knife wounds you got.
I try to skip the topic.
How
I got a
long?
scar when I was 5.
How long that date was?
I was
Because like first 5 minutes you're like, oh, that's not gonna work.
No, but we had already set out the day, the plan, so I couldn't really deviate.
Yeah, but you meet her like dinner, coffee.
was-
Did you
yeah.
try to cut it short?
I spoke as little as possible to minimize the time. But I had to go through the date. We went to get coffee, like Starbucks or wherever we went. But it's kind of like a patio, outdoor kind of place.
Yeah.
And I'm mad. I'm not outdoors with you. Man.
Yeah, I would be upset too. I would be upset to be seen.
And she had no hair.
What?
When I say hair like mine, like yours. But in the video, her hair was wrapped up.
Oh.
So now I'm thinking it's bedtime. She wrapped her hair
She
up.
wrapped her hair, yeah. But now she actually has 0 hair. Like,
You
I mean,
guess-
like-
Her hair looked like mine. It's
You
surprising.
guess
right.
you guess bald woman.
I'm
No,
not against
no.
it. I'm saying, tell me you bald.
Yeah, tell me that you
Some
like
people-
to rock a
some
natural
people-
no hair
why?
style.
Now you're blaming
I've
some
seen women
people-
with no hair.
Some
They look
people
great.
like bald people. Yeah, they look great.
But they would say that up front. That's like
Why?
their image up front.
You have eyes. I don't have hair. I have hair. My hair is short. Now when you meet me, like everything is a problem.
It's
Now
not.
I'm defending this woman.
Now I was just very surprised. And you acting like it's normal, so you can make a joke. Hey, I bet you didn't know. Like make a joke about it or something.
Not everybody has a
Bet
sense
you
of
didn't
humor.
know I was stabbed 52 times.
Yeah, tell me a story about when you got stabbed.
No.
Don't just lay here with your stab wounds like that shit is normal. Come on, B. You fucking with me. So, anyway.
No, she probably like, I thought you could take this. I thought you're a tough guy.
That's not fair, man. Why do black dudes always have to
No,
take
just-
so
just-
much? Why do people? I hate that. image.
That's just because you're black.
No, but
You know,
that's.
I have
alright,
this.
fair enough.
For example, I have. I'm not very good at communicating feelings, especially negative feelings. For example, but I like tough guys. For example, take
Sure.
me as who I am. I don't have to explain. If you think my hands are rough, fuck off.
I see.
You know,
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
strong farm hands.
Yeah.
Okay, I did go out with a guy. It's also set up by my friends. Okay, this is when I was still in China. And then, so went out a couple of days, all good. And one day he decided to hold my hand. And then he just hold my hands like, whoo.
Oh, really? Ooh.
He got played off better than that. Come on. He did a bad job.
And then I'm like, fuck off, your hands are too soft for me. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so,
That's funny.
yeah.
I'm saying I don't mind faults or whatever you may call it. I'm saying let me know and or make a joke about it. Yeah, I'm short. I'm going to make a joke about being short.
Why am I making a joke about me being short? Is that a flaw?
I'm saying
It's
the
not a
elephant
flaw.
in the room. I mean, bring up the jokes. I'm saying bring up what may not. If
For
my
example, what do you have to bring out?
sure, I'm short. I could use that as people. You could say I'm short. You could say, I don't know, I got small hands or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what people find normal or not normal.
I mean, I'm not a comedian or I'm dating, so I just don't go out. Hey, just to let you know, I have strong farm hands.
First of all, this guy doesn't have any stab wounds that visible to us openly. Okay, so I think that let's be real here. Okay, we're talking about someone.
I am a feminist.
He's someone he's spoken to several times.
Right.
Right before.
Yep.
And it never came up in conversation. I feel like it should have. You know, a little bit. I feel like that's.
Yeah, I feel like I was being that superficial. Like, come on. But anyway, so that was my experience, and
So that's the only one experience that you got catfish. But that's not usually when you catfish, this woman take you to bars and make you consume, and then they really don't upload their photos. You know, that's a
maybe
scam.
they have different
That's a scam.
definitions of catfish. Catfish, I thought, was like when someone that you don't know, they report to be someone that they're really not, right? So I thought the most extreme examples are when someone thinks they're going to meet a woman and it's actually a dude. Like you got catfished,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
That's
it
the
happens
mindset
mostly
of it.
online. Like
That's mostly online.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dating
that's what
apps
happens
and
in
so
my
on.
definition. But he's saying like this person seemed to be someone that they weren't in person in real life. I think.
And I think looking back, they purposely distanced themselves from the camera or spoke softly or what, like, because that's not how you speak.
Hard for her to get a guy, so she's gonna.
But you know I'm gonna meet you. You know I'm gonna see you in 2 days. So
You think that's your type?
if you thought that was my type, you would act like that in person. You would act like that all the time. If you thought that was my type.
Okay. So she faked a good impression, and then she disappointed you.
Yeah.
If that's called catfish, have you ever been?
No.
They're always consistent.
Well, I don't
Before
try
and
to date
after.
people online, so it doesn't really happen that
Yeah,
much.
and I've stayed away from online for that reason.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
in this
yeah.
case, and my guys are assholes, so that's why I knew they knew.
They knew, yeah.
And
So that's another layer.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
interesting. That's
Damn.
so
Life's
but that
hard.
happened. You've been catfished.
no, just say disappointed. Like disappointed. I thought you're like, I thought you're like 2 meters. You're like 1.50 meters.
See, always goes back to height.
Right.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but but because I understand when you see people for real, or you see people more times, there will be. I accept that. I acknowledge there will be a lot of differences, so I don't have high expectations, and then that's why I don't feel it's that catfish level. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
Yeah. So also like pretty much at least in Shanghai it's pretty safe for women. So yeah, I don't feel if you just like you don't look the way I thought you would look like, or you didn't act the way you should, nothing will happen to me. I just cut it short and bye. You know, no hard feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another way looking at it. Yeah.
I think as you get older, it turns more about how they act, how they behave, than how they look.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's
So-
more about the vibe. It's
Yeah.
more about the vibe. There's so many beautiful and annoying people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it gotta be more. It's like one of my friends the other day, he was saying how he went out with a girl, and the girl walked in the house like she owned the house.
Oh.
Like walked in, kicked her shoes off, like beeline to the couch,
Really?
and just sat down, put on the TV, and it's their first.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And so he was like, that was the first and last time he ever.
Yeah, it's the behavior. It's like,
yeah,
what is wrong
yeah,
with you?
exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's
we were
wild.
making a joke like, at the door, you gotta set some rules. You better walk right.
Yeah.
You better walk slowly, and you gotta do that. And so yeah, that was funny that.
That's so funny.
But that's
Yeah.
crazy that she was able to do that. That she thought that was okay. But
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but I do think people get picky as they age. More picky.
yeah, you have a lower tolerance for bullshit, for things that. I mean, you know what you like. You kind of know
Yeah.
you like a person that is loud, that is not loud, or whatever you like. So I think when you see people of whatever traits they have, you kind of know early that that's what you like.
Do you know what you're looking for now?
Looking for happiness. That's all.
All right,
You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
I'm in the pursuit of happiness.
That's great.
That's
nice.
a good callback.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, less. I'm not into the drama. I'm not into too much excitement. It's chill, and yeah, stay out of the way for now. I mean, like I said, I was doing that for 7, 8, 9 years. So stay low, stay calm.
Nice. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
also what you said when Sherry's father asked you. Remember your first meeting with Sherry's parents,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
her father was like,
Oh yeah.
she's like,
Yeah.
she's like, what you gonna do with my girl? And then you're like, I'm gonna give her happiness.
Well-
And the father was so, approved. And then we were like, by happiness, he means like an orgasm.
Oh my God, I hope he doesn't watch this. I don't even remember that moment, but apparently I said the right thing. And that's great. At the time, I probably just said what I actually felt, which was that. I think that over time, the answer probably changes. Right, obviously I want to give her a better life and all the things that happiness mean, I guess.
Entails, for sure.
Yeah, entails, right? Yeah, well.
Anything
That's
else
good.
you want to add to?
Well, okay, there was one last thing that, because we were talking before, we didn't really touch the subject, but you hung out with a lot of musicians, rappers, right? Are you a rapper? Do you rap, or is that like...
Nah.
But you wanted to talk about that. Like, you know a lot about it?
I mean, I've been around it for a long time. I just
Like,
think.
were you in that industry? Okay.
No, I just have friends that are musicians.
Okay,
close
okay.
friends.
So okay. So I had a misunderstanding. So your friends were just mostly musicians?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we would do that. I would kind of just be with them for most. And this started in high school. So at that time, you kind of go through that journey with them because they're doing it at the same time.
Okay.
They get deals and
That's great.
all that stuff. So
Okay.
I was there for that, and so and it's just funny to see where music has gone in the last 5-10 years.
Right.
We were talking earlier about how trans and gays are now in the forefront, and now that all those things have leaked into music where that wasn't a thing before.
That's right.
You couldn't do that.
Yeah, like with Lil Nas.
Right. Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X. Yeah.
And even in I don't know a lot of these people's names, but there's a lot of gay and trans musicians now where that's a thing. Like that is a boost for your career.
Yeah, for sure.
And to me, that's just funny how that has transitioned.
Oh yeah, from going to be like a pejorative or slang, like to literally Eminem. I grew up with Eminem, and now we have Lil Nas in the same.
Also, the music awards, they have best female artist of the year, best male artist of the year. All of us, these trans people.
Trans means that you would be in the male or female category because you're transitioning.
Okay, so
You've
that.
transed.
Okay, right. So
if
if
you're-
you identify as a woman,
Yeah,
you
you would be in
compete
the
with women artists.
I think so. Yeah, theoretically.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with testosterone. Well, maybe the music
That's
vocal
funny.
quality.
What would they? What if an amazing trans artist came out, like a Beyonce trans, like a trans Beyonce came out?
Yeah, be in the.
How would you? Where would she be?
In
Best
the
male artist, best female artist.
female artists, right? They
Oh, I guess
identify-
because you identify as female.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
Makes sense.
The issue always comes with sports because that's where the scientific go, But vocal quality, maybe unless there must be some way that testosterone influence vocal quality. But I don't know, man. Michael Jackson was a man, but he had a very high voice. So don't know that.
Did they ever verify if those kids were his? Like those
I have no
Blanket
idea.
and I don't know. There's a couple
No,
of them.
Blanket and all strange. Why do always artists give them their children really strange?
Because they got the money that it don't matter. You can call me whatever. I have $100 million in my bank account. Call me.
That's so true.
Call me grass. I don't
Call
care.
me grass. I'm still richer than you are.
Exactly.
All right, you cracked it. That's the
Yeah.
code. That it is. That makes sense.
Get money.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a child name for your child? You got a.
If I have a child, I have a list of names already,
Alright.
but I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I like one-syllable names, so I feel like they're very strong names.
Like Mike?
But that's from a longer name, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't think I would do Mike.
Sky.
No, because I'm not a millionaire and gonna raise my
James.
James.
This sky is not too bad. That's
What?
pretty normal these days.
I don't know. I'll unveil that later. It's another episode
Fair
when
enough.
that comes.
Baby names.
Yeah. Baby names.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bitches
man.
and baby names.
Bitches and baby names. Part 2.
Yeah.
Do you got anything you want to promote?
Oh, good, man. You know, I'm just coaching, just trying to develop that skill. I've been coaching. So, just to get better at that.
Okay.
And hopefully you'll see me in the CBA somewhere in the
That's right.
next year or two. Yeah?
Awesome. All right. Great. It's been a pleasure.
All good.
You guys, we'll see you next time. This has
Right,
been
much
hilarious
Yeah.
podcast with Shane. Thanks for watching. Okay, all right, stop. Listen, really appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share, download, do whatever you can. Let people know that, hey, there's this really cool podcast with, foreigners and Chinese people about China and life. So, you know what the deal is. I'm Adam, and please, I love you. I do.